Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brenda, and for today's video, we're gonna be doing some Christmas shelf styling, but with a little bit of a twist. So if you've been following me for a while, then you know that I typically like to do Christmas decorate with me's, and we do little voiceovers, and that's pretty much it. But for today, I was like, okay, this is gonna take me like, I don't know, 5 minutes to style. I've already like pre-planned it. So filming it would be really quick, and it would be the shortest video on like the history of YouTube. So I was like, okay, how do we do this so that it like, I can show you guys, but it's not this like 2-minute video. And I was like, well, I'll just take you guys through the process of how I style my shelves and like basically my thought process through everything. And then if you do want to see like just the result of it, I will post a short as well. So you can go over to my channel, go to my shorts, and you can see the like quick result within, 15 seconds. So anyways, if you are interested in seeing my thought process when I style stuff, then definitely keep on watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And let's go ahead and hop right into it. Okay, so this is my shelving right here, and I'm gonna be styling this one right here and this one right here. Typically this one I like to leave empty just because I don't really have anything else to put down here. I don't have that much decor, but I think if you did have like something very similar to this, I would probably put 2 baskets right here. That way you can hide things, you can put toys or whatever, like ends up in this like stair landing up here. But anyways, so we're gonna be styling these 2 right here, and usually what I like to do first is style like my favorite piece, and that is this Amber Interiors dupe. I don't know if you guys have seen these bell like stands, but they are so gorgeous, and I believe they run over like $150 on the Amber Interiors website, and I found these on Etsy for $55. They might have gone up a little bit in price just because they've become very, very popular, but it's still very affordable. And these bells look like this. Look at how pretty these are. These are literally just so gorgeous, and honestly, I don't see a difference to the Amber Interior ones. They are so pretty. And then the bells also come with it, and they have the little wooden like thingy in the inside, so that's really cool. But anyways, I'm gonna be styling these first because these are my favorite pieces. So one of my main guidelines when it comes to styling shelves is I like to do things in X's. And I'm gonna explain a little bit further how that works once I style it, but basically is you wanna have 2 items of the same thing, whether it be glass or wood or books or whatever, you want them to X like this. So for example, they're gonna end at the tips of the X. So you're gonna have the bells up here, so that's one of my favorite items up here. And then my other favorite item is gonna end up down here, if that makes sense. And then for books, for example, I'm gonna have a stack of books over here at the top of this X, and then a stack of books down here at the bottom of this X. Hopefully that makes sense. I'll show you guys right now on my shelves. So we're gonna put these up here. And I believe I put a book under the smaller, shorter ones, but for now we're just gonna add them. Okay, it's gonna be a little hard for you guys to see this, but I like to put them kind of like some forward and some back just to give a little bit of depth in this. And I like to put the smallest one in the middle because it just kind of creates an X within itself, kind of like a triangle. But I like to put the tallest one further back, and then this one just a little bit forward, and then the smallest one as forward as possible, but not too much to where it looks weird. And I always style in 3s wherever possible. So I'm gonna take, it's this like picture frame, and then I have these 2 little bells right here. They look like this. And then this picture frame right here that looks like this. Hopefully you guys can see that. It looks like that. This one is a DIY that I did. I believe I purchased, it was like canvas paper on Amazon, and then I used my printer and printed like a vintage art print on that canvas paper, and I just created these like vintage portraits, which, they're not entirely vintage portraits, but they look like they are because they're printed on canvas paper. All right, so like I said, I always style in 3s. So we got 3 bells right here. If you don't have 3 bells, that's totally okay. You can do 2 bells as well, but ideally you want to do in 3 stacks. So next up on my little X here, I'm gonna take a book. This one is the Kinfolk Home one, and I'm gonna put it right here. And then I'm gonna take my picture frame, which is my second piece, and put it right there. And then my third item, although it's 2, this is considered 1 item because it's the same thing. So I'm gonna take one and stand it like this, and another one I'm gonna lay it down. And that's my stack of 3, if that makes sense. So 1, 2, 3. So now moving on to books. That's the next thing that I have that's major, and we're going to style books in this corner over here because you don't want it to be close to this. And then we're gonna have something here to break up the books together. And then we're also gonna put books on the opposite side of the shelving. So it'll be one down here, and then one in the second shelf on the other side. For this one, I'm gonna be taking 2 of these books. This one is A Place to Call Home, the brown one, and then this one's just a monochrome home book, which doesn't really fit my aesthetic, as you can tell. I mean, kind of a little, but I don't like the silver on it, so I'm just gonna flip it backwards, and it's gonna look like that. So this is gonna go standing like this. I'm gonna lean this one just a little bit just to give it some, you know, character. And then I'm gonna take this pot right here, which I purchased on Facebook Marketplace. You can find tons of these on Etsy, but I totally recommend keeping up on Facebook Marketplace because you can find them for like really, really cheap prices. These can run for over like $120 on Etsy. I think I got this one for $50. So anyways, I'm gonna take these floral stems, and the one thing I don't like about these is that these middle ones are usually really long. So I just bent them so that they match the same length as the rest of the stems. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna unbend this guy. As you can see, this one's like super long compared to the other ones. So I just folded it inwards just to give it less length because I think it's a little too crazy, especially for this small pot. So I'm gonna add those in here and add another one, and that should be enough to make this look full. There you go. Fold that in just a little bit more. It's a little too long. Cool. I like that. That looks good, right? Yeah. All right. So there is my pot that's breaking up the books with the books right here. And that's basically all I'm going to do here. I'm actually going to move this over just a little bit just to have it kind of overlay like this, kind of like give it some dimension. Okay, now to break up all of this styling right here, now you want to do just one item right next to it, and then you're going to do another stack over here. So you always want to break up things in between. You never want to do 3 stacks of styling next to each other because it's way too busy. You always want to do your styling stack and then a one-piece item. That way it kind of like evens it out and it breaks it apart. So especially for something like this where it's all really long, you definitely want to have like a one-piece item breaking up in between, almost like a wall in between each styling piece. So I have this paper mache bowl right here. I'm going to add this one right here. You can see now that breaks apart this. Can you imagine if I did another styling of 3s right next to it? It would look crazy. It would look way too busy. So I added my one-piece item. It could be this, it could be a pot, it could be a Christmas tree, I don't know, it could be anything. So I added this here, and now moving on to right next to it, now we can style again. Okay, I'm really short, and this shelf is a lot taller than me, so I'm on my tippy toes, but we're gonna do a style of 3 here now. So now that we have this wall to break up these 3, now we can do another 3 over here. So we're gonna take a book. This one is a Made for Living. We're gonna use that as our styling little pedestal. And if you guys did see my haul from like the very beginning of like my Christmas series, you guys remember that I was talking about that little sleigh from Home Goods. It's like a Rae Dunn sleigh. Well, I ended up picking it up. I really love the color of it. And it had a little like Rae Dunn like wooden tag here. You just take it off and it literally doesn't look like Rae Dunn at all. This I'm gonna add here. We are gonna turn it just a little bit just to add that like, you know, little depth. It almost looks like it's turning. I don't know. You can have it like this, but I think that looks kind of flat. So I like having it like this. It looks really cute. Now for our last and 3rd piece, I have this cute little nutcracker. I did end up purchasing a bunch of different nutcrackers, if you guys remember from my haul, but unfortunately these shelves are a little too short, which sucks. Had I made it a little bit like, you know, down here, it might have worked out, but unfortunately the nutcrackers are too tall, so I wasn't able to use the other ones, but this one's like the perfect height. So this one I'm gonna add in the back over here. You could add it up here if you really wanted to, but I think that's a little too close to the sleigh. So there we go. That is our set of 3 now. This is turning out really good. I'm very happy with the way this is looking. So this year I decided to go a little bit more lighter and brighter, and I really like it. I like usually go for darker colors. I'm actually in the process of selling my console table if any of you guys are interested. I did list it on Facebook Marketplace. I will leave a link to that listing down below, but I am selling my Our House Ubud console table, and it's the 73 inch, I believe, or 78 inch, like a 73 or 78. I'm actually purchasing a different one that I've been wanting for a very, very, very long time, and it's more of like this lighter color, so I'm very excited for that. But anyways, I'm loving how this is looking. So now we're gonna move on to the top area here. This is gonna be a little hard for me to talk to you guys because this is really tall. and I'm really short. So I'm gonna point the camera upwards so you guys can see, obviously, and then you're probably gonna see like my forehead. So we're gonna move on to this section so you guys can see how everything ties in together with these X's that we're gonna create. All right, I got a stepping stool so you will be able to see me. So moving on to this top area. So we want to obviously create an X. So our X here is this to this right here. I'm kind of covering it. You guys see that? Okay, well, it's the style right here. We got the books. So we want to kind of replicate the same thing, obviously with different items, but we want to kind of replicate. So we have a book here, so I'm going to add a book under these bells right here. So I'm going to take this Live Beautiful book right here, and we're going to add that one under. And then we're also going to add a secondary book. That way it adds a little bit more, obviously, interest to it, and because this book is pretty flat, it's very thin, and you can barely see it. So we're gonna add this Minimalista one. You could easily flip it like this if you want, if you don't like the, whatever this is it the spindle? No, I don't know what it's called. Anyways, if you don't like how this looks, you could obviously flip it. I think, honestly, it doesn't look terrible in this scenario, just because it's like all very light colors. So I'm gonna add that on top as well. And we're gonna do the same styling just with the books. That looks really cute. I love that. Now I'm gonna take this frame right here. We're gonna replicate the same thing basically. So we have a frame down here behind me. We're gonna add the frame behind this guy right here. And you never want to have two frames. If you're gonna have like frames on two different shelves, you never want to have them right beneath each other. That's why you want to create this X. That way then it'll flow really, really well. It's not too far away, not too close. So I'm gonna add this behind here and have it kind of overlap a little. So not right behind it, not way over here. You want it to be almost like in the middle of your styling. That way it's sticking out just a little bit over here. Hopefully that makes sense. So I'm gonna keep it right there. And that is my styling that replicates this bottom area. I'm gonna fall off of this little stool here. Look at that, that flows really nicely. So now we're gonna replicate this right here. This is my little Christmas styling little stack. So we're gonna replicate the same thing with another Christmas item on the opposite side. So here's my X, and here's the other X. Can you guys see that now? Okay, so we're gonna use these gorgeous little flocked Christmas trees that I found on Amazon, and they are so gorgeous. I'm actually gonna get down to show you guys because these are so beautiful. Honestly, I don't know how more people don't have these, but I absolutely love them. The quality of these are amazing. Maybe the one thing that I think they could have done better is flocked these guys or done a different color of wood. It looks like it's redwood or something, but other than that, I love the quality. So I got the set of 6, I believe, or set of 5, and I only grabbed 3 of them. So we're gonna create the same thing. We're gonna create our X. So we're gonna add our Christmas tree over here, and then I have 2 more because we want to style in 3s always. And we're gonna add that here and right here. So now, as you can see, here is my other X, right here and right here. Hello, here I am. So these are literally all reject books that I just don't use anymore. For these, I'm just gonna put them stacked straight like this to replicate the bottom area. You could easily put a book lying down right here, but because I already have a book lying down right here, you don't wanna do that because then it's gonna look like a flat set of books. It's kind of hard to show you guys because I'm in front of it, but you don't wanna have a book right here. If I were to put this down, that just looks wrong. That does not look good. So we want these all to be standing, and we do style of 3s. Got 3 books right here. You could do 2s as well, but like I said, these are my rejects. I have nowhere else to put them. So we're gonna do 3s because rule of 3s. Over there, it's a roll of 2s because I don't have a book for over there to make it 3, but it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now I have this pot right here to replicate the pot on the other side. I know you guys are gonna be asking where this is from. Unfortunately, this one I did find at a swap meet. And I think I got it for like $2, which is crazy. It's this beautiful bean pot. Look at this. It's a beauty. So I did find that one there, and we're gonna add that one right here to keep the books from falling, and also as a, basically as a book holder, book weight, whatever you want to call it. So there is our stack to replicate the other corner. And last but not least, you always want to have a stack of 2 decorative boxes. Always, always, always on your shelving. You always want to have that to hide things, just for styling purposes, doesn't matter. So in this case, I'm going to be using these little like woven ones that I found on Amazon. They look like this. My hair is going crazy today. And we're gonna add these over here. These are a little bit on the darker side from what I typically like, but that's okay. They're really pretty. They add a little bit of depth, and it also ties in with the potpourri that's inside the sleigh and then the dark section of the pot. So it kind of all ties in really well. So I'm gonna add this at the top. You could place this basically anywhere, but ideally you wanna put this somewhere where you can't recreate that X. So because we already created an X with this and that, you can't really, there's no X here. There's always gonna be what I would say like a blank space that doesn't tie into anything else. And that's where you wanna add your decorative boxes. It'll really tie it all together. So here are my decorative boxes. You could do any, you could do linen ones. I think those would look honestly way prettier than these guys because they're a little bit lighter, but it's okay. And then if they're taller, you could add a little bow to it just for that Christmas touch, and then you will have that, like, you know, the whole thing come together really well because it's gonna Christmas out the boxes a little bit more. That's it. That's basically it. Had I only done like a Christmas decorate with me, this video would have been done within 30 seconds. Hopefully you guys can kind of see now where my like concept goes with the X's. Now that you guys can see the full picture, it's a little cropped at the top, but you wouldn't be able to see me otherwise. But we got the X. Again, I'll keep talking about the X's. I'm telling you, the X's is where it's at. If you keep doing that, your styling will always look really, really good, no matter where. I always get asked how I do my shelf styling, specifically for my hutch downstairs, and that is always my go-to thing to do. We got our X here, our X here, our blank wall space filler right in the middle so that we break apart our styling, and then our other, you know, wall over here to break up the styling, and then our X, really, really big X, this and this. You could even add greenery to that one if you wanted to, but I think that would be too much. So anyways, that is basically how I style. Definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you guys try this, or if you also do the same thing where you kind of X things out. If you do styles in threes and all that good stuff. So, but anyways, that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoy. Definitely let me know what you guys liked from this, and if you're also going to implement this in your own home. And if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.